Hello everyone and welcome back to Easy English with Manu. Today in this lesson we are going to learn what is verb and what are the different types of verbs in detail. So the first category that we are going to discuss is stative verb and dynamic verb, and the second one is helping verb and main verb, and the third one is modal verbs, and the fourth one is irregular and regular verbs, and finally we are going to discuss is transitive and intransitive verb. So if you are here to learn the basic grammar of English, to know what is verb and what are the different types of verbs, then this is the video just for you. So if you are interested, please continue watching. First of all, let me explain what is verb. A verb which means that show any action. That shows any action. There are many actions that we do every day, right? Just like reading, learning, playing, cleaning, eating, sleeping, smiling, laughing, enjoying. These are some of the activities that we do. So if any word that shows an action, then that means it is a verb. So there are many verbs in English and there are different types of verbs in English. So in this video we are going to learn what are the different types of verbs in detail. So let us discuss on the first category, stative verb and dynamic verb. What is stative verb? Stative verb means the verb that does not show any action actually, but it shows a condition. It shows a state of being. Just like we can say, I have a car. Here the verb is have. That means it shows a kind of state that something I have, shows possession. So I have is actually the verb here. I have a car. I am a student. I am a teacher. Here I am is actually plays the role of verb, means it shows a state, it shows the condition in a sentence. And the dynamic verbs that literally shows physical action, means that clearly shows any kind of action. Like we can see, for example, in the sentence, she plays cricket, she plays guitar. There is a person to do some work, means the work is and the action is play. So it means that shows a physical action, and it is generally called as dynamic verb in English grammar. It may be confusing for you to understand what is stative verb and what is a dynamic verb. There are some verbs that play the role of stative verbs. Some example we can see here is, so here you have to understand there are three categories of stative verbs that often relate to thoughts and opinions, feelings and emotions, senses and perceptions. So these are the examples of stative verbs that normally do not show any action, but it shows a kind of state, or it shows a kind of condition. Okay, so looking at these examples, you will have to learn how to use properly. Verbs like agree, believe, doubt, guess, imagine, know, mean, recognize, remember, suspect, think, understand, and these are the stative verbs that often relate to thoughts and opinions. And some other verbs that relate to feelings and emotions are dislike, hate, like, love, prefer, want, wish. And the stative verbs that relate to senses and perceptions: appear, be, feel, hear, look, see, seem, smell, taste. These are the three categories that stative verb often relate to. So you have to learn these verbs. So one thing that we have to always remember, the stative verbs do not often take ing form, means it does not take the present continuous form of verb. Most of the time when we learn grammar, students of course make this grammatical mistake that stative verbs they often use in a wrong way. For example, we can see, I understand your feelings. Understand, we know that the verb understand is stative verb, means it shows a condition, or it shows a state of being, means the ability actually. I understand your feelings is the correct way of usage. Sometimes students what they use is, I am understanding your feelings. This is the wrong way of usage. So keep it in your mind. Stative verbs do not generally take ing form of the verb, but in some exceptions, stative verbs can also play as the form of dynamic verb. Let's see what is dynamic verb. Dynamic verbs that literally shows physical actions. You may go through these video footages to understand what are the actions that are done by people. So they are like playing, reading, thinking, driving, laughing, enjoying, walking, running, playing something. So these are some of the verbs that shows literally a physical actions because there is a person to do the work. So one thing we understood that stative verbs do not normally take ing form of the verb. Now let's go to a grammar quiz. Here I am going to give you 5 sentences, simple sentences with 2 options. It may not be very hard for you. So let's begin with the first one. That can be right. I don't believe. I am not believing you. Yeah. Then the second one is I have changed the design slightly. Yes, what do you think? The third one is she's not answering. Does she have her phone with her? The fourth one is the film is on at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Which do you prefer? And the last quiz for you is I don't know, but I doubt he will win the election. I hope you have scored the full marks. Okay, if you have not scored well, you can just go back and see again and try in the next time. And one thing I would like to add here is, as I told you in the beginning, stative verbs that does not show action. But sometimes it has some exceptions. But in some cases, stative verb that can also express actions. So, let's see some examples here. Sometimes a number of verbs can refer to states or actions depending on the context. Let's see some examples here. I think it's a good idea. Wait a moment. I am thinking. The first sentence expresses an opinion actually. It's a mental state. So we use present simple. So in the second example, the speaker is actively processing thoughts about something. He is doing a physical action like an action in progress. So we use present continuous form. And some other examples we can see here using have. I have an old car. It shows a state of possession. I am having a quick break. It shows he's having a break. It shows having a break is an activity. It shows an action. Let's see with the example C. Do you see any problems with that? It's a state of opinion. Let's see how it works as an action. We are seeing Anushka tomorrow afternoon. Here we are going to meet that girl. It shows an action. And let's see with the verb be. He's so interesting. Means we are talking about a state of permanent quality. How can we use that in an action? He is being very unhelpful. Here it shows literally an action because he is temporarily behaving this way, means he is not able to help anybody because he is acting such a way. And see the final one that we can take here as an example, taste. This coffee tastes delicious. It's the quality of that coffee, yeah? And look, the chef is tasting the soup. Here the person who is cooking here is doing an action, that is tasting. So tasting the soup is an activity. And there are some other verbs like this include agree, appear, doubt, feel, guess, hear, imagine, look, measure, remember, smell, wish. So try to understand and practice yourself to understand how these stative verbs can also use in the form of present continuous form to show any actions. I hope the idea of stative verb and dynamic verb is clear to you. I told you one thing, that there is an exception not to use ing form of the verb with stative verbs, but there is an exception that we can use ing form with stative verbs in order to the context. So learn this context, and if you did not understand these concepts, please watch again, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. As much as you watch, the doubts will be clarified. So you watch again and again and again until your doubts are not clear. Are you confused since I told stative verbs do not take ing form? But in exceptional case, stative verbs use ing form. In order to test how far you understood, let's look at some of the questions that I am going to give here. So it will be a kind of quick grammar test. So let's go to the second one. The second category of verb that we are going to learn today is helping verb and main verb. Helping verb is also known as auxiliary verbs. See, with some examples, let's understand what is auxiliary or helping verb or main verb. Let's look at this sentence now. Rehan is playing now. Here there are two verbs. Can you identify what are the two verbs here? Yes, is and playing. In this sentence, is plays the role of helping verb and playing is main verb, because playing shows a physical action that is doing by Rehan, and here the helping verb is because it shows the tense of the sentence. In a sentence, the helping verb normally plays the role of tense. It shows time, and in order to understand the tense, we normally use helping verb with main verb. So here in this sentence, Rehan is playing now. The sentence is in present continuous tense, in progressive tense, means an action is going on now. So the verb is doing by a person, Rehan, and it is helped by a helping verb is, in order to show the exact tense, that is present continuous tense. And helping verb helps to make the sentence negative also. Rehan is in playing now, and it helps us to make an interrogative sentence, question sentence. Is Rehan playing now? I hope this idea is clear to you. Now let's jump to the third category, that is modal verbs. Modal verb means that normally is used to show the attitude or the mood of the speaker, whether he is able to do, or whether he is giving any advice, or is he saying some rule to somebody, or the speaker says some possibilities. There are mainly 5 things we have to remember when we learn modal verbs. The first one is it shows abilities. Normally, in order to show abilities, we use can. One example we can take here is I can swim fast. Here I have the ability of swimming. That's why we use the modal verb can. and it shows possibilities like it may rain tomorrow or it may rain now. Otherwise, Raymond might win the best player of the game award this time. Here in these two sentences, I am showing a possibility or probability. And normally the modal verb must shows obligation or suggestion. Let's look at this sentence. You must visit your grandparents every week. Here the modal verb must refers to obligation, means you are ought to do this one. That means you are obliged to do this work. Let's see the second example. You must stop at a red light. Here it says suggestion. Let's see one more example. Everyone must bring something to eat. It also says suggestion. I'm sorry, but you mustn't make a noise in here. This sentence also shows suggestion. Some other modal verbs like can or may are used to ask or give permissions. For example, can I come here? It is asking permission. How to give the permission back? Yes, you can come. Another example with may. May I use your laptop? It is asking permission. How can we give permission? Yes, you can use. Yes, you may use my laptop. There are many ways we can use modal verb, and all the modal verbs in detail will be discussed in the coming section. If you are not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe so that you will get latest notification whenever I upload any new videos. Now let's see the fourth one, irregular and regular verbs. I hope you might have learned regular and irregular verbs in your school time or college time. Like there are three forms of verb. For example, do, does, did, play, played, played, jump, jumped, jumped, smile, smile, smiled. And these are the three forms: verb 1, verb 2, verb 3. Present tense, past tense, and past participle. And there is ing form, progressive form, playing, reading, writing, sleeping, learning. So these are the ing form of the verbs. In order to get a better understanding, let us look at this table. And here there is the basic form and the present form, past form, past participle form, and ing form of the verb. Most of the verbs in past and past participle ends with ed. The basic form gets an extra ed form in order to make the verb past and past participle. So normally when a verb takes these kinds of normal forms in order to make past and past participle, these verbs are normally called regular verbs, means they are regular, normal, in order to make past tense. For example, smile, smiled, smiled. We just have to add ed in order to make past tense, in order to make past form of the verb. But in some cases, verb have got different three forms. Let's look at some of the examples here. The base form of the verb is to go. The present form is go. The past form is went. Past participle is gone. So these three forms, verb 1, verb 2, and verb 3, present, past, and past participle, these three are different. So when a verb has got three different verb forms, these kinds of verbs are normally called irregular verbs. In order to have more understanding, you will have to learn yourself, find yourself, go to the dictionary and see what kind of verbs have got different forms in different tenses, so that you will get clear understanding about what a verb really means. To know more, please refer to the dictionary and find out what are the different irregular verbs that have got different forms in different tenses. Now let's understand the fifth one, that is the last one to understand in this lesson, is transitive verb and intransitive verb. Transitive verb means normally a verb that takes an object. A verb which takes an object is normally known as transitive verb. Let's look at some of the examples here. The example we can see here is I played. here the subject means the person who does the work is I, and the verb is played. The sentence is not full. The sentence is not full. The verb play asks a question, what? What I played. In order to get the answer what I played, we have to add one word that is called object. What I played. We have to give the information. So we can get the example here as I played table tennis. Here what I played is table tennis and it is called object. So the verb played is in transitive form. That means it has an object. One other example we can take here. He kissed. So normally the question will come, he kissed who? He kissed his girlfriend. In order to understand whether the verb is transitive or not, we have to ask a simple question to ourselves. So it's a simple technique that we can use. After the verb, we have to ask what the action is or to whom the action is taking place. So if we get the answer to this what and to whom, then normally the verb does have an object. Now let's see what is intransitive verb. Intransitive means verbs that do not take any object. Some examples we can see here. Here are some of the verbs that do not take any object. Examples like laugh, sleep, sit, run, cry, stand, live, die, arrive, go, and etc. So these are some of the intransitive verbs that normally don't follow any object. Let's look at this example. The film star arrived early to the meeting. Here the verb is arrived. If we ask the question, what arrived or to who arrived, we will not get any answer. The film star arrived early. How he arrived, how he came. The question is how. So normally the question how refers to an adverb. So it's not an object. So these are some of the verbs that are normally used as intransitive verbs. I hope this concept is clear to you. It's only a basic understanding. If you did not understand the concepts I have explained, please watch this video again and again so that you will get a clear understanding about what is a verb and what are the different types of verbs. So this is the basic understanding of English grammar. If you learn this, then I can tell you that you have learned 50% of English. Now finally, let's recap what we have learned today. The first one we have learned today is stative verb and dynamic verb. Stative verb that show a condition, and the verb that shows a physical action is called dynamic verbs. Secondly, we have seen helping verbs and main verb. In a sentence, there must be a verb to make a meaningful sentence. Helping verb is also known as auxiliary verbs, and main verb means that shows a physical action. Modal verbs are verbs that normally show the mood or attitude of the speaker. And we have learned some regular and irregular verbs that shows tenses. And finally, transitive and intransitive verb. In a sentence, if a verb takes an object, then it is transitive verb, and if there is no any object after verb, then that verb is called intransitive verb. If you did not understand any concepts I have explained in this lesson, please reach me in the comment. I will be trying to reaching you to clarify your doubts. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel. You will be getting new ideas and concepts related to English grammar, spoken English, and different topics that are very important. Until the next video, take care. Have a nice time. Bye.